just showing how the mind, your thoughts, your emotions can affect you physically. Remember, it's bidirectional. Your mental, emotional can affect you physically. And according to Chinese medicine, 2,000 years ago, they said the #1 cause of disease are the inner emotions. So they call them the 7 emotions. So if they're out of balance, chronically out of balance or extremely high, they can wreak havoc on the body. And now, only in recent times, we're able to study, measure to see how our thoughts, our feelings can change our physical well-being, our epigenetic changes in the body. And so you have this experience, a life event, and you perceive it. How you perceive the event determines your response. And so now you have a mental, emotional response. This response now changes your nervous system. So there's changes in your heartbeat, your heart rate variability. There's an effect on the nervous system now. And then that leads to a hormonal response. So now there's a chemical effect in your body, which turns into a physiological effect. So it truly is that your thoughts and your emotions can impact your physical body, both you can do it positively or negatively impact your body. So the key here is to awaken your inner healer. And we do this by quieting the mind. When you quiet the mind, the soul will speak to you, that inner intuition. So it's really key to develop a relaxation response, a practice. And this is why it's so important. As I mentioned, this autonomic nervous system, when you're fight or flight and is diverting blood flow from your main organs like digestion and reproduction and going to your heart and lungs, this massive amount of energy so you can either fight or flight, it leads to chronic hormones like cortisol being high, which can lead to blood sugar dysregulation, can lead to inflammation. There's a saying, I'm calling it inflammaging. So this chronic systemic inflammation is leading to accelerated biological aging and premature degenerative diseases. The good news is you can slow this down or even reverse it through diet and lifestyle, exercise, and as we're talking about, mindfulness, meditation, relaxation techniques. Again, if you're constantly in the sympathetic mode, which you've got your foot on the gas, it's not meant to be on all the time, and there's no survival benefit to be in this fight or flight. You're not about to be eaten by a wild animal. You're not about to be hit by a car. You're just worried about what's going to happen in the future. You're worried about your job, money. These are stresses that elicit the fight or flight, but that fight or flight is really for a survival benefit. And there is no survival benefit to elicit that while you're thinking about something. You're not in that emergency situation right now where you have to take action to not be hit by that car or eaten by that wild animal. And so that causes a suppression or immunity. And right now we're talking about the pandemic. And so we want our immunity to be up. So this is why practicing relaxation would be key. If you have tight muscles in your neck and shoulder, if you're getting headaches, if you're finding it difficult to sleep, if you're finding you have a lot of digestive upset, gaining weight in your abdomen, all of these, even fertility issues, these are all signs that you could be in sympathetic overdrive. So let's talk about some of the simple tools, because they are simple and powerful and effective, to help you elicit the relaxation response. The first one that I want to share with you, I heard through Peter Levine's book, Waking the Tiger. And what they observe in nature is in the animal kingdom is when an animal has a stressful experience, after it survived it, it goes off and does a lot of shaking and twitching. So, ducks in a pond, when they have two big fights, they'll go to the other side and then they'll start to shake it out. Dogs, animals, they've seen this in the wild. And it makes sense what they're doing here, because when you go into that fight or flight, remember we said you're mobilizing all your resources so you can fight or flight when you engage the sympathetic nervous system. Well, that's an amazing amount of energy. There are stories where moms have lifted vehicles off their children when they're in the moment, when they're in that sympathetic drive, and then the next day they can't even budge the vehicle. But if you are engaging this sympathetic fight or flight, but you're not discharging it through exercise, through actually fighting or running, then it's in the tissues and this can lead to disease. So we need to discharge this energy. And this is about what I call shake it out. And so I'm encouraging you, if you're watching this, to get up and do a little shakeout with me. Now, I have to tell you that the value in what I'm sharing is in the application of the knowledge. The value is not in the knowledge. You can read all the self-help books you like. You can watch this 100 times. And if you don't do the activities, the practices, you don't benefit. So the value is not in knowing, the value is in the application. So the shake it out, and I know people that like to dance, so they'll put on music first thing in the morning and shake it out and dance. But you can purposely do this by standing up and then just start to shake it out. Like, you know, shake it all out. Just really shake your body. You know, you can jump really hard and just do this for a good 30 seconds or a minute. This is why exercise can be beneficial, and we know it's studied that exercise can help you with exercise is a good stress reducer, right? You're discharging the energy, but you can purposely do this. You know, after my day in my clinic, or if I had a patient where the story is very, very sad, and I feel like I'm taking it on, I can feel like it's in my cells. I can feel it. You know, I'm impacted by it. I'm affected by it beyond compassion, empathy. That I'll go and shake it out just because I'm having a stress response, just because there's no survival benefit. There's no benefit for me to be engaging my sympathetic. I'm not at risk of dying here. So this is why I want to shake it out, because my sympathetic nervous system has mistakenly been engaged.